The Shepnaz podcast begins now.
You're listening to the Shepnaz podcast, a podcast by Shepherd Church. Everything we do at Shepherd is to connect our community in a meaningful relationship with Christ, and we're expecting great things. My name is Joey, I'll be your host, and today, Chaney Shaner joins me as we look at the book that Rob McCorkle wrote, Life and Death, The Power of Words, and we'll get to know her a little bit better too. So stick around and let's dive in. Chaney, thanks for being here today. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be here in your cool studio setup.
Well, when we were going to introduce you, I said, could we introduce you as the face of Shepherd? Because that's how I know you.
Yes.
And that's what your title is, what you said.
My official title, Face of Shepherd.
So we'll talk more about that in a minute. Mm-hmm. But before we do that, we are wrapping up the 21 days of prayer and fasting.
Yeah.
This is actually the last podcast dedicated to it. Starting next week, we're going to dive into some new things. And so you get to kind of wrap us up. Mm-hmm. We've been looking at Rob McCorkle's book, Life and Death, The Power of Words. Mm-hmm. The last chapter that we're going to talk about on the podcast is called Giving Thanks. Mm-hmm. Could you help kind of talk to us about what Rob was getting at in this chapter?
Sure, yeah. So he kind of opens it with a story about a pastor friend who was going through a difficult time. And basically, the way he got through it was by having an attitude of thankfulness. Even for the difficult time that he was going through, he was finding different things to be thankful for. He wasn't being negative toward anyone in the situation. And so he mentions this verse, which stuck out to me, which was, rejoice always, pray without ceasing, in everything give thanks, for this is God's will for you in Christ. And that's 1 Thessalonians 5:16 through 18. That's always been one of my favorite verses. And so Rob just kind of talks about how that should be what defines the life of a Christian, is that you're always rejoicing, praying without ceasing, and giving thanks to God. And in every situation, in your daily life, and that's a habit that we should be in. So I found that really actually applicable, as I think we all could, to our lives, our daily lives.
Yeah, good. Is there something that kind of maybe stuck out and challenged you as you read through?
So as I was reading that verse, I'm thinking, am I always rejoicing about everything that happens to me? Like when my toddler gets sick for the 50th time this month, am I rejoicing about it? Probably not, but is there a reason to rejoice? Yes. And he also talks about in the chapter the fact that a lot of times we pray for blessings, or we say someone's so blessed, but I could say I'm so blessed because, I get to own a house or whatever. But that doesn't mean a person who doesn't own a house isn't blessed. Or I'm blessed because I have a great husband. That doesn't mean someone that doesn't have a husband isn't blessed. We are all blessed, and he gets down to the point of we're all blessed. And Jesus talks about you are, well, let me say it in his words. Blessed are you when men hate you, ostracize you, and insult you, and scorn your name as evil for the sake of the Son of Man, Luke 6:22. So he's saying we're blessed even in all those things, and the reason that we are blessed, be glad in that day and leap for joy, for behold, your reward is in heaven. So as Christians, we are blessed, and we can be thankful for what is in store for us in heaven, no matter what's going on in our life today.
Awesome.
So that kind of challenged me.
Yeah, awesome. What is maybe a practical step? So as we end the 21 days of prayer and fasting, we've been talking a lot about words and how our words have power. And you're talking about thankfulness. So what's a practical next step that either you or maybe the people who are hearing this could take to maybe live into a life of thankfulness?
So one thing that I thought of was I'd like to challenge myself and maybe everyone listening to this it's really easy to get in a rut. Once you start complaining about something, it's so easy to get in a rut of complaining about things, especially like the same thing over and over again. Like you get that one coworker that you're always complaining with about someone else or some kind of whatever's going on at your job, or you get that one family member, you complain about the other family members to them. It's so easy to relate to people through complaining and grumbling and not being thankful. So I'm going to try to challenge myself to get out of that rut of complaining wherever that is, and get into the habit of thankfulness, because it will really, as Rob says in this book, when you live an attitude of thankfulness, it attracts people to you, and it attracts people to Christ. So because people see something different about you. So if we can relate to people through encouraging words and through thankfulness, I think that's going to attract people to Christ.
Awesome. Well, hey, we're going to take a quick break, so don't go anywhere. We're going to come back, and we're going to talk to Chaney about some of her story, what God's doing in her life, what she gets to be a part of here at Shepherd, and then what she does kind of outside of Shepherd. So don't go anywhere. As we conclude our 21 days of prayer and fasting in January of 2023, we want to invite you and your family to a praise and worship night on January 29th at 5 p.m. There we will sing, we will pray, and we will thank God for all that He has done. And as we anticipate what He is going to do, we'll seek Him. So don't miss it on January 29th at 5 p.m. right here at Shepherd. If you haven't taken the step of baptism in your life yet, we want to invite you that on February 5th, you could take that step. Baptism is a moment in which you're able to say that Jesus has changed my heart on the inside, and I want to proclaim it to the world. If you'd like to sign up for baptism, you can do so by filling out the Connect card, letting us know that, or you can go to our website, and on the right-hand side under Contact Us, you can click the link that says, I want to be baptized. Pastor will reach out to you, and we'll get that scheduled. All right, Chaney, thanks for being here again. You get to be, like we said, the face of Shepherd. And when I say that, for maybe those who don't come on Sundays and they're listening to this, they don't understand what that means. What when we say that, what does that mean? So I do the video announcements, which is like a 2-minute video every week, where it's quite self-explanatory, announce what's coming up and try to encourage people to get involved. Yeah. So the first place I met Chaney was through a screen, which is funny because when I was on staff at a church in Florida, I worked with a coworker who used to pastor here at Shepherd, and we were trying to figure out this whole video announcement thing, and we were outsourcing it to another company. But then she was like, "Well, hey, my friend does this at her church. I wonder if they would do that for us." And so we ended up hiring Chaney and her mom Phyllis to help us with that. Yeah. And what was really funny was there were multiple occasions that we had people during church be like, I've never seen her. Like, where is, like, does she go? We would always say she goes to the other service. We had two services. That's right. But it was, yeah. And then when we moved here, I had almost kind of blocked out that even happened. Yeah. Because that was pre-COVID. Oh, yeah. Nothing else mattered after that. And we were, Natalie was cleaning out a closet and found T-shirts, didn't know what they were for, and so she just set them on the table downstairs. And they were 3 T-shirts that I personally designed for my church in Florida. And I was really, I felt it was like a Twilight Zone moment. And I walk in, I was like, why do you have these T-shirts? Mm-hmm. And they're not my size, as much as I wish that I had smaller size. They were like really small. And I was like, what in the world? And then it hit me like a ton of bricks that we sent them up here free to wear for our video announcements. So those are my 2 funny stories about Chaney. But so you get to do our video announcements, and you kind of help us get connected here at Shepherd. And so people help get to see kind of how they can be a part of things. But when you're not doing that here for us and for our community, what do you get to be a part of outside of that? So I work for the city of Gahanna in the mayor's office, and I do their videos. And also I'm just... my official job title is marketing and communications specialist. So I work with their website and do
basically a little bit of everything in that department: social media, videos, pictures, all of that fun stuff. So I've been working there since 2018 when I became an intern there, and then I've just been able to move up the ranks there. So it's a lot of fun, and it's right down the street.
Yeah,
so that's nice.
Right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then a little bit about your family. Like, let's get to know Chaney and her family.
Okay. So I met my husband, Nick. We got married in 2016. I met him in 2014. And he's a pastor of a church in Indian Lake.
Okay.
I think the actual name of the town is Russell's Point, but the landmark around there is Indian Lake. So we go there. It's a church of like about 30 people. That's where we are every Sunday. When my face is here, my actual self is there.
She goes to the other service, is what we say.
Yes.
Goes to the other service.
Yes, I go to the other service. An hour away. And then we have a daughter. She's 20 months old, named Larkin. And if you run into her, good luck. She's a Spitfire. Yeah. So she's
you can catch Chaney and Larkin running around the church grounds quite often.
Yes.
They'll just kind of pop in and out. So,
yes.
But you can't miss them.
If you see her running in the parking lot, like, I'm sorry, I try to control her, but she's faster than me. Well,
Chaney, it's been great to have you on here. I know not everybody gets to kind of see you very often because you've got all sorts of things going on, but we're thankful for you. But we're gonna wrap it up this episode of the podcast. Be sure to subscribe anywhere that you get your audio so you don't miss an episode. We've got great things coming up. You can always learn more about what's happening through our app, our social media pages, and at shepnaz.org. For Chaney, I'm Joey. Thanks for listening and have a great day.
This podcast is a production of the Shepherd Church of the Nazarene, Gahanna, Ohio. Email to podcast@shepnaz.org and let us know what you think.